You know, every once in a while, you stumble upon a pattern that's just, well, it's too strange to ignore. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at this really striking convergence of predictions, all zeroing in on the year 2026, but from sources that couldn't be more different from each other.
So here's the big question we're asking today. Is this all just a massive coincidence? Or are these completely independent sources, separated by centuries and cultures, somehow describing the exact same event? And we're talking about a very specific event, a plague with a very, very unusual symptom.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at three really distinct clues. We'll start with some ancient medical texts, then jump to a modern prophet's vision, and finish with a channeled warning. After that, we'll piece it all together and even look at what these sources say about being resilient.
So let's start with our first piece of the puzzle. And for this, we have to go way back, like over 2,000 years back, to one of the most important books in Chinese medicine, the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon. Now, this system, Wuyan Liu Qi, isn't just some kind of ancient fortune-telling. It's this incredibly complex system of analysis. The best way to think about it is like an ancient form of long-range weather forecasting combined with public health predictions, all based on a repeating 60-year cycle of cosmic energies.
So what does this ancient system say about 2026? Well, this is where it gets really fascinating. It predicts a major energetic conflict. Basically, the year is dominated by excess water, think cold and dampness. But that energy is going to clash with the year's natural, sovereign fire climate. So you've got this cosmic battle, a whole lot of cold trying to stamp out the natural heat of the year.
And you have to ask, what happens when you try to smother a fire? It doesn't just vanish. All that heat and pressure gets trapped. And that's exactly the idea here. This concept of suppressed fire means the body's natural warmth gets trapped by all that external cold, and it builds and builds until it has to burst out somewhere.
And the text is shockingly specific about what that eruption looks like. It's not vague at all. It says that in severe cases, this leads to, and this is a direct quote, ulcers, carbuncles, and swelling. We're talking painful boils, sores, and rashes literally erupting through the skin. Now remember that specific detail. It's going to be important. All right, now for our second clue. Let's fast forward a couple thousand years from ancient China to modern Thailand and talk about a pretty well-known prophet named Plai. Her vision points to a disturbingly similar outcome, but she gets there from a totally different angle. So with Plai, we're shifting gears from natural cycles to a man-made threat. Her vision is of a new, engineered virus, a hybrid disease so deadly that she warns of bones scattered everywhere because people can't even bury the dead fast enough. And here's where that pattern starts to snap into focus. Play describes this virus as a mix of tuberculosis, a respiratory disease, and the Black Death. And what was the single most infamous sign of the Black Death? The buboes, those painful swollen lumps that would erupt on the skin. So again, a completely different source pointing directly to a plague defined by severe skin afflictions.
Okay, our third and final source is definitely our most unconventional. This is a message that was reportedly channeled by a medium in Taiwan, and it's said to be from a being called Archangel Raphael. And what's wild is that it offers a potential mechanism for how a plague like this could actually be spread.
This source just completely changes the story. It's not a natural cycle. It's not a lab leak. This message claims the whole thing is an intentional, deliberate biochemical attack on the population, a straight-up act of aggression.
And the details it gives are just startlingly specific. It talks about drones flying over residential areas late at night, spraying some kind of liquid, and releasing this artificial virus directly onto people. So it lays out a clear technological delivery method for this plague.
All right, let's step back for a second and just put all these pieces on the table. We have an ancient medical text, a vision from a modern psychic, and an esoteric channeled message. Three completely different worlds, right? But when you line them up, the pattern is just undeniable. This is really the heart of it all. Each source, using its own totally unique language, its own framework, points to the exact same unsettling detail for 2026, a major health crisis defined by severe skin problems. You've got the ulcers and boils from suppressed fire, the buboes from a hybrid plague. I mean, the common thread here is just impossible to miss. So you have to wonder, right? If all these sources are describing this problem, do they offer any solutions? Do they give any kind of blueprint for how to be resilient in the face of something like this?
And the defenses they propose are just as diverse as the predictions. The TCM approach is all about physical balance. It says you shouldn't just use cold things to fight the fire. You need to carefully use warming herbs, like ginger, to help the body vent that trapped heat correctly. But then the Raphael message suggests a totally different defense, an energetic one. It says by raising your personal frequency through things like kindness and positive actions, you create a sort of bio-photon shield that can actually repel the virus.
So, we've laid out the pieces. This isn't about saying this is definitely what's going to happen. It's about pointing out a truly fascinating and frankly kind of chilling pattern. So I'll leave you with the big question. When an ancient cosmological system, a modern clairvoyant, and a channeled message all point to the exact same strange detail in our near future, what does that signify?
Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical health strategies. See you in the next video.